everyone, Meryl Davis here at the 2019 World Figure Skating Championships in Saitama, Japan, joined now by Jackie Wong of rocker skating.
Hello.
And of course, the most recent champion of the men's event, Nathan Chen, two-time world champion. Welcome, Nathan.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. It is very late here in Tokyo. Nathan has had quite a day, so we appreciate your time. Two-time world champion. What does that mean to you?
I mean, it means the world. I've dreamt about just winning one world title, and now having two. It's just, more than I could have ever imagined. So happy to be here and to have it happen in Japan as well, where, this is really the center of skating right now. It's amazing.
Can you walk us through today, preparing for your long program, going through the long program? What was your mental approach?
Right. This whole season, honestly, I've kind of felt at the most at ease of my entire career, really. For some strange reason, I've been able to really settle in on my skating, really feel pretty attuned to what I'm doing on the ice in terms of my programs. And I don't know, I think it maybe just having a new perspective on skating has definitely helped with that. But I think, just knowing that I'm capable of doing everything that I basically plan on doing, and having the proof from previous competitions has definitely helped me a lot with that.
And we certainly have somebody here who's seen a lot of your skating. And so for those of you who don't know, Jackie covers figure skating perhaps more than anyone. And so you mentioned before we started the interview that Nathan's quad-lutz today was perhaps the best quad-lutz you'd ever seen. Can you comment on that?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of quad-lutzes from this guy in practice and competition, so on and so forth. His jumps this season, especially from nationals, to here, where it floats. Everything is floating. Everything, the landings are rode out. There's something different about the way that this guy is doing his technical elements. That's completely different than what we've seen before, and there's a lightness to it, and that probably has something to do with his mentality.
Mm-hmm. Well, even throughout the week, you and I were sitting watching several of your practices, and it felt like even throughout the week you were getting stronger with each and every practice. Is that the way it felt to you? And if so, why was that the case?
Absolutely. I mean, I was just a little tired first getting into practices, and it usually takes me a couple of days to sort of get settled after a long international flight. And also having Ralph here has been so helpful. Just hearing the words that he normally says in practice, just reminding you, key points and to think about during elements. Those are super helpful and super important to doing the jumps well. And I've definitely missed that a lot. So having him here, having his support has been huge.
I'll do a quick graphical representation of what's happened during the week. At the beginning of the week, it was like this. Air position was like this. And then it just every single day there were adjustments made, and you and I saw it. There was something was working, and it worked in a short program, it worked in the free skate.
Mm-hmm. It definitely did. Two-time world champion. It's incredible. I feel like I can't say it enough. You are the first U.S. man since Scott Hamilton, 83, 84, to repeat back-to-back world championships. A legend in the sport already. Where do you go from here?
I mean, it's hard to compare against Scott because he had 4 in a row, so I have quite a ways to go to meet that quota. But I'm really proud of everything that I've already done in the sport, and I still want to continue improving. Still want to continue, developing everything, all aspects of my skating, both technically, artistically. I think that I still have a lot of room to grow, and I mean, this is my third world, so I still have a lot of worlds that I can potentially go to. And hopefully go to. And so, those are things to look forward to. And just, I don't know, it's hard to say where my career will go, but I'm excited for it.
Well, watching you in practice this week, there was a confidence, but also a love of each movement you were making that I feel like was even a step forward from what I've seen previously. It feels, as a viewer, it feels like you're falling more and more in love with the sport. Do you feel like that's the case?
Absolutely. I definitely don't have as much time on the ice generally in training, and also, just I've sort of felt that, of course, I'm only 19, so I still have, quite a few years of skating under my belt, but at the same time, I think that, there will come to be a point in time where I won't be able to skate anymore, and, every time, and also throughout the year, we only have 6 competitions, give or take a few, and so, every competition that I have the opportunity to compete at, I really need to take advantage of that moment and really, just embrace every second of it. And I think that definitely helps me even just perform better too, because I've, really felt every second that I'm on the ice. I'm very aware of what's happening versus before. I'm just like, oh, I need to like just freak out and get my stuff done, and if it doesn't go well, I don't know what to do. Versus now, like if things don't go well, it's okay. There's always the next practices, always the next competition even, and just something to learn from this competition, or past competitions that I can carry into the future competitions.
And you mentioned spending a little bit less time on the ice. Of course, viewers may or may not know that you were in your freshman year at Yale. We should probably mention that.
Wait, what?
But and you also sort of alluded to a balance, sort of a work life, skating life balance. And I feel you have embraced excellence sort of all around, whether it's attending school at Yale, down to you're working with Vera Wang for your costumes for both a short and long program. What is that mentality, just embracing excellence all around, and how do all of the moving parts fit together?
I mean, it's not even all down to me. There's been so many moving parts that are completely like unrelated to what I've been trying to do. Like you said, Vera, like you said, yeah, like all these things like weren't entirely in my control. I've just been blessed that they've given me the opportunity to be a part of their lives, and they being a part of mine. And so, all this stuff is just a lot of luck, honestly. A lot of great people that have been helping me over the past couple of years, and just a whole bunch of luck.
Luck and a lot of hard work as well. One of the moments of the championships that was my favorite to watch, actually, was before Jason got his scores tonight in the long program, Jason Brown. The cameras panned to you, right. And you were sort of redirecting the cameras back to Jason, right. Which I feel like is it's a great representative of the type of person you are. You're an excellent athlete, an artist, but you're also a class act. So I feel like you can comment on that as well.
I mean, totally. It's been interesting actually watching Nathan and Yuzu this week, just kind of like lobbing like compliments at each other. It is, in figure skating, there's, sometimes a lot of cutthroat competition. Obviously, they are rivals, and they know that, the other person is trying to beat them, right? And every single time they're trying to kind of do their best to get that gold medal. But every single time we saw them interact, whether it's in the press conference when they were just kind of talking about how they admire each other's skating and how they're pushing each other, or even at the podium where, when Nathan came out to take a bow, Yuzu like raised his hands and like clapped really enthusiastically for him. Like it's great to see, right? And it's there's nothing fabricated about it. Mm-hmm. It feels genuine. It feels natural, and there's this respect that is great for skating. It's great for the fans. It's great for the sport.
Can you talk a little bit about that friendly rivalry and what it does for you?
Yeah, I just have so much respect for Yuzu. I watched him when he was competing Junior Worlds and completely dominating with triple axels, and just wanting to be like that. I hadn't had triple axel at that point. I was like, wow, like this guy is really, in his own right, revolutionizing the sport. And then you saw within 2 years, 3 years, he starts, blossoming at the world Olympic level. And now currently he's 2-time Olympic champion. Like that's something that there's nothing I can say that will take that away from him, Mm-hmm. And I just have to give my respects to that fact. And I think, just in general, like every single athlete puts so much time and effort and puts their heart into the sport, and there's no reason to deny that fact, and there's no reason to sort of try to belittle any of the other athletes, because we all are striving for the same goal. So I think that like generally we should at least have that common factor of respect for each other, and I think that at least as much as I can, I try to display that fact as genuinely as possible too. I don't want it to come off as fake or anything, because I genuinely do feel as though these guys deserve all the respect in the world.
Well, and as leader of the sport, I think you're also setting the tone for all of the other athletes as well. So that's setting a great example. Of course, your first world championship, winning your first world championships and winning your second, it's going to be different. But is it different in part because Yuzu wasn't at the world championships last year? How does that play a part in, standing on that podium?
Right. Anytime that I'm able to stand on top of the podium at any competition, it means a lot to me, whether it even just be regionals or Golden West from back in my, juvenile days, to being here at, at the World Championships with Yuzu. It's just a huge honor to be at this competition to start with. Only a few of us get to compete, and then only a few of us get to make the long program. And perform for such an amazing sold out crowd. Like that's an experience that I'll remember forever. Ultimately, a world championship is one of the biggest deals in figure skating. So to be able to win 2 of those is just really a dream come true. And regardless of whether Yuzu was there or not, of course it means a lot that he's here, and I had the opportunity to compete against him. And we both, of course, he may have faltered a little bit in the short program, but he's human. He makes mistakes. We all are. And also, like, that being said, he completely dominated the Olympics not long ago, so like it goes to show that he's still amazing and he still has the capability of being amazing. But fortunately things played out to my favor this time, and in the end I was able to win this world title. So not to, I don't know, it's hard for me to say, but they both mean a lot to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, watching the 2 of you, I feel like something really special. Watching both you and Yuzu masters at work, the 2 of you competing against each other, it's a moment as a figure skating fan, as a sports fan. Can you comment on that a little bit, Jackie?
Yeah, I just had flashbacks of those 2 programs going back to back, and it's like I just got goosebumps. It was one of the really great shows of figure skating that I've seen in recent memory. Yuzu coming out in that with that crowd, doing the things that he did, and then the shower of Winnie the Poohs, luckily on one side of the rink as opposed to the entire rink. That I actually have never seen that many of those on the ice, and so that actually took a little bit of time for them to clean up, right? Mm-hmm. But then Nathan coming out and doing what he did, which was incredible. That kind of back to back, that kind of just the spectacle that we saw was amazing, and again, great for the sport. And I think this rivalry is also great for the sport.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I read earlier that, of course, while a lot of athletes, in particular figure skaters, sort of like to put their blinders on and they don't like to know what's going on, with the skaters ahead of them or how they've skated, you like to sort of be aware of what's happening and in the know. So where does that come from?
I think just from the fact that previous coaches have not allowed me to know what's going on. They're like, you have to know it. Like, you have to just be in your own world. Like, don't worry about anyone else. But I think just the rebellious part of me was like, I need to know what everyone's doing. But it also kind of just sets the scene for me, so I know like what's expected and like what everyone else did, so I know generally how I will stack up against these guys. Hypothetically, if we all skate clean, and if they just skated clean, like where will I stack up if I skate clean? So it just gives me that idea. But at the end of the day, like regardless of what they do, I'm trying to skate clean. I'm still trying to do the best performance that I can do. But it kind of puts me in, I guess it might put me in a different, mindset going to the competition depending on how other skaters skate.
Well, we won't keep you long. It's incredibly late. I know you've had a really long day, but before we leave, I want to just play a quick game, a one-word game.
Okay.
Ooh.
So just say the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
Yuzuru Hanyu.
Dominant.
Yeah. Vincent Joe.
Up and come. I don't know how to, but he's chasing my tail, I guess.
That's great. Yeah.
There you go.
World Championships 2019.
Just honor.
Yeah. Future. The future.
TBD.
I like it. Great way to end. Yeah. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. I know it's been quite a day. Congratulations on your second world title.
Thank you.
Absolutely incredible, and can't wait to see what's next.
Thank you so much.